Okay, so to start with, I've got the three smaller pieces I'm going to work with to put some wood filler in. This is the lid. Basically, I'm going to fill in these holes where they had some hardware mounted. And also this side, you can tell there's quite a bit of, there's a divot here and there and some more holes up here. Because when you put the leatherette on, that's going to show, because there'll be a void there and it'll be very evident that it wasn't done properly. This is the back. I'm filling some of those holes. And then the top piece, the hinge cover. Just a lot of holes and variations of the wood that need to be taken care of. So we'll start with just some basic wood filler. So let's see how this goes here. I tried this earlier with another type of wood filler, and it was not going good at all. So I thought I'd try a different one here. No complaints there. So. Some of these areas might take a couple of treatments here. I'll let things dry. Okay, it looks really rough, but when it dries, and then I sand it down, and I put a couple of applications on, it'll be smooth. This one here, I kind of had to build up the edge, and we'll see how that works. Okay, I've allowed enough time to really dry, so I'm going to sand that down. Oh, that feels nice and smooth. That's the way you want it, so that when you put the leatherette over it, there's no indentations, there's no bumps. It feels like one solid piece of wood. Might not look really good, but it's nice and smooth, and it'll be totally covered. So when it's a little bit thicker, you need to use a heavier coarse sandpaper, and that will get off the bulk of it a lot faster. And then you just graduate to a finer one. And see how that took that down really fast. And now it's nice and smooth. Because that other stuff that it took off was way above the level of the plane. Nice and smooth. I filled in all the holes perfectly. I decided not to fill this hole in because I don't have the lock that goes with it, but I have hopes of finding one somewhere from maybe a collector or someone who has parts left over. Okay. There's that. And try to take the sharp edge off of that so it's easier for the leatherette to wrap around the corner there. Build that thing up somehow. I might have to glue a piece of wood in there, right there. There's a little divot missing out of there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so I've got all the wood pieces smoothed out. Got wood filler in them, and I've sanded them down so everything's nice and smooth. Of course, this will all be covered, so you won't see all the filler. And so what I plan on doing next is I need to start the reassembly process. And if you notice, the only really new piece is this shelf here, which is the same thickness. It's about an 1/8 inch piece of plywood. And it slid right in there. I had to actually file it down a little bit to make it fit, but it does fit in there. I cut it to size, and so the next thing will be attaching the back. And that will fit in there right like so. And if you remember one of my previous videos, I had this little piece of wood that had splintered off. So when I reassemble that, I'll just have to glue that. Glue that into place. I've got two pieces now. But that should be fairly easy to do. Just want to keep it in a safe spot that nobody will throw away. No one will even know it's there. And then reassemble this, and then I'll be able to and then I'll put this divider piece in here. And that's going to go like about right there. I have to figure out how I'm going to attach that. It's got to be pretty sturdy, so before they just had, looks like 3 nails. 3 nails from the top. And there was one right through here. And I don't know what that cut into. Anyway, we'll figure that out. So, you see that little divot there? This is damage done by an external lock that the previous owner had put on it. And so I'm going to fill that in. And so what I have actually is this is part of the shelf that was inside. I'm going to use some of that old wood just to keep it close to original as possible. So I'll just cut out a little piece out of here, glue it in there, and then sand it down, and it should repair just fine. Put a little glue in there. I'm going to sand the top down at the very end. Let's see that in there. And then when it's wrapped with the leatherette, there'll just be a hole cut out for this portion here, and it'll be fixed properly. It's fairly cool in here, about 48 degrees. Let's see if we can get this warmed up. There we go. Feels warm already. And today I'm going to start reassembling the Union tool chest and see if we can't finish get started on the restoration project here. It's got that little groove down here. That's going to fit right on the top of this little shelf. And yeah, it fits like a glove actually. So I'm not going to glue this shelf in. I'm just going to let that be kind of sandwiched in there. I'll put a bead of glue around here, down through here, and then over on this side here as well. And all those runners, they're actually good as new, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, let me get the clamps out, start gluing it up. So one thing I may want to do is kind of mock it up. I have the divider that needs to go in here, and I want to make sure everything is marked properly, and so that when I go to assemble that, it works properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this together a little bit. I'm just going to put a pencil mark. That'll give me a mark to go by when I center that and attach it to the shelf. Okay, so the type of glue I'm going to use is it's genuine hide glue. It's actually what they use on tool chests. Furniture restoration, I know musical instruments use hide glue, and it's a type of glue that can be disassembled without destroying the wood. You do it with application of water and so forth, but it has a reversible bond. So that's what I plan on using on this. So let's just get this thing glued up. Perfect. Okay. So I'll let that dry up. Got it clamped up all directions. The only one I don't is up down here, which is almost impossible to. So we'll let this dry up. Okay, it's had time to set for a few hours now, so let's go ahead and remove the clamps. Feels a lot more solid actually, which is a good thing. So the next thing I have to do is glue this little piece in and clamp it up, and I think I'll probably bring it inside the house just because it'll probably, it's below 50 now, so it needs to be above 50 to cure. And then after that, I've got to work on putting the divider in, and then I believe after the divider's in, do a final touch up on the finish, make sure everything's smooth, and then begin putting on the leatherette. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I posted on this project. I had some other projects that kind of took precedence over this. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, have a great day.